You can have there's a lot of people think like, I just got to have a disciplined mindset. I remember this guy in my buds class. I'll never forget this guy. In my mind, this guy was a robot. Like, I met a lot of people early on in SEAL training. They're like, dude, this guy's different, right? Like, that guy's a physical specimen. That is, this dude is weird. This guy is extremely disciplined. Like, this guy was just completely robotic in everything. Like, it just seemed like he had no emotions, and everything we had to do, like, he would spend all of his time on the weekend, like literally all of his time, cleaning his boots, polishing his helmet. It's like he just gave all of his time to it. Whereas most people are like, okay, well, I think this will pass. I'm going to try to do good. But he was just extremely disciplined in everything. And then even in like in our after hours, like with his nutrition and his stretching and everything, this dude was just insanely dedicated, right? But this guy didn't make it through buds.
Right.
I remember when he quit, and it blew me away. And looking back on the situation, I can see what happened. It was a brutal day on the beach where they were just trashing everybody. And I know what happened to him was they broke down his mindset. They were we do some of these. There's an evolution called base tour, and there's another evolution where we go up and down the beach, and they're just gonna make everyone weak. And what the instructor, like, no one's looking strong that day, but what the instructors will do is they'll start to single out people in a boat crew, right? There's 6 guys under a boat, and no one's having a good time, but they'll start to pick on one guy, right? And they'll start calling him out. They'll start saying that he looks weak. Everyone is so like destroyed. You can't judge what state other people are in. But they're calling his name out, right? And so what he's thinking about is what his boat crew is thinking about him, right? And what will happen to students is they begin to tell themselves like, yeah, my team doesn't want me here, because the instructors will say that. Like, you're weak, your team doesn't want you here, you're holding them back, right? And people just quit in that moment. And he quit in a very similar fashion. You have other people who, when that's happening, they're either going to say, well, either it's not true, but if it is true, I'm just going to push harder because I'm not weak. Right. And so he had great discipline, but when his belief and who he was, his belief, like, he actually was capable, but his belief broke down.
Man.
Right. And so he didn't have mindset is everything in SEAL training.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. So his mindset broke down. He was extremely disciplined, one of the most disciplined people I'd ever seen. But he didn't have everything. He was missing certain elements, especially in that context, belief, to be able to accomplish his objective. But you'll hear so many other SEALs, anyone who talks about helping students prepare or looks backwards at the training program, you will hear other SEALs talk about that mindset is everything, right? Especially as it relates to SEAL training, right? Like, you can be a great athlete, you can do lots of running, lots of swimming prep, all of that stuff, but that only works to a point, right? If you're not physically prepared, well, you're not going to be capable. You could have the right mindset and not be able to make it through training, but physical preparation only leads to a point. Like, and I discovered this for myself, where I was barely over the line of physical preparation, but I had the right mindset to make it through training. And I remember students in my class who like didn't really have, like, man, they had certain pieces of a great mindset, and gosh, they were physically prepared. I mean, there were some amazing athletes in my class. I still look back at some of the people I met in my class, and I'm like, man, those people weren't pro athletes, but I've met some pro athletes, and I've never met anybody like these people.
Wow.
Like, their level of athletic preparation and physical preparation was insane. I knew a guy actually made it into the SEAL teams, but this guy was like Herschel Walker. I mean, he had done like thousands of push-ups every day. He could do hundreds of push-ups at one time. I met so many people like that, and he was the exception. A lot of the guys who that had been their physical preparation didn't make it through because they had relied on that, but they didn't have the mindset, literally the mental preparation, the way of thinking that it affects their reasoning, that affects their ability to conceive thoughts, to conceive possibility, the things that affect their judgment, and to maintain that state during difficult circumstances. All of these pieces of their mindset, they were missing those things. So their physical preparation could not get them over that line, because there's so many journeys in life that are not just a physical journey, but they're a mental journey.